Welcome to Heads or Tails, helping your new dog start off on the right paw. My name's Megan, and I'm one of the training behaviour team here at Dogs Trust USA. I'm here to guide you through this exciting time as you gather the information to help your dog get off on the right paw. Whether you're fostering or adopting, we have hints, tips, and recommendations to help you all settle in together. Before taking on the care of a dog, it's useful to review some basic information on your family, your lifestyle, and your routine. Consider how busy your household is, how frequently its current members come and go, and how active your daily routine is. Understanding your lifestyle will help you to find the perfect match, whether that's on a temporary foster basis or as a forever home. If you have time before collecting your dog, consider keeping a diary over a few days to see how a dog would fit into your daily life. Keep track of things like visitors, your leaving hours, and plan how easy it may be to incorporate a dog into your current lifestyle. We can also then look at how we may need to adapt to fulfill our dog's needs, such as their exercise requirements and also brain games to help keep them entertained. This is the Smith family, and they've decided together that they are ready to consider potential dogs to adopt. They saw Patch, an 11-month-old crossbreed, on the website and completed an application. The staff caring for Patch agreed that the Smiths would be a great match, as he's lived with a cat before and he's also used to children. It is still important for Patch to meet all members of the family, including the children, to ensure that everyone is comfortable together. As we think about how you can settle a dog into your own home, we will follow the Smiths on a journey to welcome Patch into theirs. Having a safe area of the house where your dog can eat and drink is just one of the ways you can prepare for their arrival. Dog beds and blankets in quiet places can help them to get much needed rest and to feel safe and secure. You could set up a little den area that's away from doorways or busy routes around the home, like an open crate or simply a space that's behind or next to a chair or couch. You will need to be in a routine of putting away items that your dog may be likely to chew or mistake for a toy. Potentially dangerous items such as cables should be made secure and inaccessible. Practicing this ahead of your dog's arrival will help things go more smoothly once they're there. Picking up a new dog is one of the most exciting times, and with a little planning, we can ensure it goes smoothly. Consider how you will be travelling. Do you or your family member or friends have a car that you can borrow, or will you need to use public transport? Bear in mind that this could be overwhelming for a lot of dogs, especially if they've experienced stress in kennels, and there may also be travel restrictions on certain public transport, so make sure you've checked this before collecting them. If you have a longer journey ahead, think about if you need to take a break and whether it would be safe to do so. If possible, going straight home is ideal, but if you do need to stop, be mindful of the weather and do not leave your new dog in a car alone. If you are travelling by car, there are a number of ways to keep them safe. This may be in the trunk with a dog guard, a secure travel crate, or a harness with a seatbelt attachment. But it's worth bearing in mind that these must not be used directly onto a collar, as this can be dangerous. As it's important for the whole family to meet the dog, the Smiths have their children with them, so they've chosen to use a guard to allow Patch to have some space on the way home, so that the children will be likely very excited and don't overwhelm him. This may also be distracting for Mrs. Smith driving, so using the guard can help give them all peace of mind that everyone is safe on the way home. Health is a vital aspect of any animal's life, and good veterinary care should always be available when they need it. If you are fostering, this will be taken care of by the shelter or rescue. But if you're adopting, preventative measures such as flea and worming treatments are available from your vet, as well as vaccinations that require a yearly booster. Pet insurance costs vary depending on your pet's age, breed, any existing conditions, and also where you live. When choosing an insurer, research the different policies available and how these fit into your lifestyle and financial situation. Dogs may need food that's specific to their life stage, such as puppy or senior, or they may have specialist diets that support them with a medical condition. You will be advised of any needs before you take your dog home. When making any changes to a new diet, do this as gradually as you can to prevent an upset tummy. And it's worth noting this may also happen if they get a few too many treats, so make sure to keep track of who's giving them what. As well as looking after their diet, we have another recipe for success: space, time, and routine. Initially, your dog is likely to need some space to get to know you in their new environment. Don't make it your mission to be their best friend from day one. Give them a few days to adjust to the home, the new smells, and also just to decompress from any stressful experiences they may have had. I'm sure we've all heard the old phrase, let sleeping dogs lie. And there's truth in that. Dogs need time to relax uninterrupted and to have some personal space. It's good to introduce a hands-free rule for dog beds. And if the dog is in their bed, we don't touch them in any situation, even if they look really, really cute. We want them to learn that this is a place that they can totally relax uninterrupted. Give them also as many resting and sleeping options as you can. This may include different bedding options, such as taking into consideration medical needs and conditions such as arthritis. So these options may include allowing them onto human beds and furniture. And this entirely depends on your own preferences and house rules. There's no right or wrong. The Smiths have explained to their children, Max and Jade, about the hands-free rule for dog beds, as it's particularly important when there are children in the home. They've already decided as a family whether or not to allow Patch on the couch or human beds, and it's important that they're consistent with these house rules across all members of the family and also visitors, otherwise it might become confusing for Patch. Since Patch has lived in a home before, his previous owners may have encouraged him onto furniture, so the Smiths will have to be patient if they want this to change. Adults should provide clear guidance to children and supervise interactions between them and their new dog. Keep a safe space and ensure that children understand that if the dog is in his safe space, he isn't to be disturbed. The next ingredient for our recipe for success is time. And although you may be tempted to show everyone your new furry friend, we need to take a little more time to space out the introductions and give the dog a chance to adapt and settle in. Whilst you may wish to take your new dog with you to the pet store to buy them some goodies, we advise this doesn't occur on the first few weeks, as a pet store is definitely an example of an environment that could cause sensory overload. If you want your dog to sleep in a specific area alone, it's worth having them spend short periods of the day on their own in that area with something that they enjoy. And having just left litter mates and mum, it can be particularly hard for puppies to cope with being left alone at night. So you may wish to use a crate to keep them safe, but it can become particularly useful to keep this crate near us in the early stages to help support the dogs, and then gradually move it further away to eventually the place we want them to sleep. The Smiths have put a bed upstairs for Patch, as they know dogs are social sleepers, but they don't want him to be on the bed or in their bedrooms. This allows him to be near them, and they can also hear if he's unsettled at night. Patch's bed is away from the doors for the children, and this is just in case they trip over him in the night in the dark. One way to get a routine established will be through your walks. And if you have any outdoor space, it's fine to just give them access to this for the first 24 hours. After this time, repeating the same walks initially helps to build routine and a sense of familiarity with a new place. They get to know the sights and smells, which can help life feel more predictable and also reduce stress as a result. You can then add in a variety down the line once they've settled in. Flat collars are advisable, as well as harnesses that can be good for any dog. Harnesses that have 2 points of contact for the leash are particularly useful for those that are strong on the leash. These connect on the front and then also clip on towards the back. If you need any help deciding on suitable equipment, please discuss this with your shelter or rescue to get appropriate advice. On your walks, allow the dog time to just to have a sniff. Walks don't need to always be cardio. Dogs learn a lot of information about their environment from using their nose. Sniffing and exploring at their own pace seems to help dogs feel more positive, and we could term this as them seeing the world half full instead of half empty. Part of our routine may include leaving them on their own. By building up this time gradually, we can help them understand that it isn't a bad thing. Providing a foodstuff toy or something similar and leaving some background noise on, like the TV or radio, can help. The first few times you leave them, it can be useful to video them. This can help us to see how they respond, but we may also be able to just ask a neighbour to listen out for them. It is also important to give dogs plenty of opportunity to toilet outside, particularly whilst they're learning. We want to focus on times that are after they're sleeping, after eating or drinking, or play, general exercise, or also when they become overly excited. Observe your dog to see if you can spot signs that they need to relieve themselves. For example, they may start to sniff the ground or turn around in a circle. If you see this, calmly interrupt and take them outside to see if they will go to the toilet. If they have an accident indoors, don't punish them, as this may cause them to be fearful of toileting around people. Accidents are likely to happen whilst they're learning, so just be prepared and be patient while they're getting the hang of it. Dogs express their feelings in several ways, and the more we understand how our dogs feel, the better prepared we are to help them through any times of worry. When a dog is happy and relaxed, we are likely to see loose body language. Their face will show no tension, and their tail may be around body height or just a bit lower. When they look like this, we can be more confident that we can introduce them to new people and other animals and also take them to new places. If they begin to feel slightly worried, the changes in their body language can be subtle. So, like in this second picture of Patch, where we can see that his tail is lowered, his tongue is slightly visible, and if you look closely, his ears are also drawn back slightly. So, this could be indicating that he's no longer feeling 100% relaxed. Patch happens to have a full tail, floppy ears, and a long muzzle. However, not all dogs will, and we need to get to know our new dog as an individual so that we can learn and respond to their particular body language. You might see behaviours that you don't immediately associate with worry, such as licking your lips or yawning. If they happen at unexpected times, for example, they are licking their lips but they haven't just eaten food, it can indicate that they're experiencing stress or feelings of conflict. You may also see low body language with their tail lowered or their paw being raised off the ground and the whites of their eyes being shown. Let's just look at the difference between these two pictures of Patch. In both, he is lying on his back. However, in the image on the right, Patch does not look comfortable. His tail is tucked under, his paws are raised to his chest, and you can see the tip of his tongue, and you can also see the whites of his eyes. The picture on the left, however, he appears much happier. His head is relaxed and flopped down onto the ground with his eyes closed. His tail is loose and lying on the floor, and his mouth appears relaxed. However, we should still bear in mind that he may still prefer a bit of space and not want his tummy to be rubbed. Not all dogs are a fan of that. Now we can see that Patch has drawn back his lips, and it looks like he's growling. When dogs move on to using vocal communication, it usually means that other attempts to show that they're concerned have been missed or ignored. Whenever we are faced with a situation where our dogs have decided to raise their level of behaviour, we should just take a pause, review, and then take action. If your dog lowers their body and their ears go back, take a pause to look around and see what is going on that may have caused this change in behaviour. We can then decide on the most appropriate action. So, this may mean moving yourself away or moving your dog away from something. When Patch is first introduced to the Smith's neighbour, his body language changes and his tail goes a little lower and it wags quickly, and his head's lower and his ears are drawn back. When they first met Patch, the Smiths were shown the 5-second rule. So, when meeting a new dog, if they approach you, touch them for 5 seconds only around the head and shoulder neck area, and then give them a break. This gives them the opportunity to move away if they are not happy, or it can demonstrate that they are happy with it by encouraging interaction such as pawing us, nudging towards us, or even just moving closer. You can then touch them again for another 5 seconds and repeat this until they're familiar with you and being in your presence. The Smiths have a bench in their front yard and they invite the neighbour to sit down and tell him about the 5-second rule. Pretty soon, they are getting along great and Patch is back to his normal, relaxed self. The Smiths also have a pet cat and took advice on introductions to Patch from the adoption team. It's important they take their time and allow the two to meet under safe, supervised conditions with lots of escape routes and high resting places for their cat, Daisy. Even though Patch has lived with a cat before, it is still important to supervise and keep him on leash initially to keep her introductions gradual. Dogs like us are motivated to obtain the things they like and avoid the things they don't. By rewarding them for doing things we like to see, they are more likely to do these again in the future. So we need to know what our dogs find rewarding and to reinforce these good behaviours. The most common reward to use is food. We should be mindful of how much they are getting so that this doesn't lead to excessive weight gain or an upset tummy. We can also use other rewards, such as access to a favourite toy, a game, or just some attention from us. Enrichment is a way that we can just make our dogs' lives richer and, as a result, generally better. Shop bought or homemade toys, which offer a range of different textures and actions, enable us to be very creative about games. Playing with your dog can build your relationship and teach your dog valuable skills such as patience, sharing, focus, and also problem solving. There are many ways to engage your dog with activities and find out what they like, and this is all part of the fun. Providing your dog with safe enrichment activities can help them settle when you cannot give them your full attention. And they also provide opportunities to show natural behaviours, such as seeking out some hidden food whilst you're busy doing other things. If you need behaviour or training advice, it is worth first checking with the shelter or rescue to see if they can help you or signpost you to an appropriate accredited individual to support you. Trainers can help with introducing training plans, and behaviourists will help you to also understand the emotions that affect your dog and their behaviour, and how to make them feel better about things. At Dogs Trust USA, we recommend working with trainers and behaviourists that use positive reinforcement based training that's influenced by scientific research. If you need any behaviour training advice, it's also worth checking our website for Dogs Trust USA. Dogs Trust Dog School have one-to-one classes that are available virtually and also in person in selected locations in the New York and LA area. Follow this QR code to find out more. Thank you for watching, and we wish you all the luck with your new dog.